Okay, welcome to chapter 1.1. This is dividing multi-digit numbers. So our objective is I can fluently divide multi-digit numbers by breaking apart the dividend. So what we really want to focus on here is fluently. So fluently means being able to do it good and be able to do it a lot and over. So we want to focus on not just being able to divide once, but doing it, showing me that you can do it lots. And it's with multi-digit numbers, not just a few numbers or one number. All right, so jumping into the vocab. For vocab 1, we have dividend. This is just kind of a review vocab. You should know most of this. So dividend is the number which is divided. So it's the number that is being divided. So if we had, for example, 4 divided by 2, our dividend is the number being divided, which is 4. If we were to write that, it would be the number under the division. All right, next we have the divisor. And the divisor is the number which divides. So it's the number doing the dividing. So if we had 4 divided by 2, then it's the 2 because it's the one, it's breaking the 4 into 2 pieces. And then it would be written like this. And then we have quotient. So quotient is the number which is the result of division. So simply put, it's the answer you get after you divide, right? So if we have 4 divided by 2, we know the answer is, we know the answer is 2. And if we were to set that up, it would be 2 dividing 4. And we know we can multiply by 2, it gives us 4 and 0. So our quotient is 2. And finally, we have remainder. So the remainder is if there are any numbers left over. So if we had instead, let's say 5 divided by 2, if we were to divide that, we know it can go into 5, or 2 can go into 5 2 times obviously, and it's 4, and we have this, we would have 1 left over, 1. So it's R1, and the 1 is our remainder, which is why we put this R, right? All right, now jumping down to unlock the problem. So I'm gonna do this real quick. So I'm gonna talk through how I usually solve a multi-digit problem. So I'm going to set it up. Okay. So when I'm doing multi-digit division, I try to find numbers that are easier to work with, right? Because 92 is a big number and it would be easier to work with a number like 9, right? Because I want to try to find numbers like 1 through 10 that are usually easier to find. And I can work with 9 or I can work with 90. Right, remember when you're multiplying a number, it has a 0 afterwards, like a 90 or 20, you can always drop the 0 and add it back in afterwards. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop my 0 and just work with 9 right now. And I know I can't, regardless if I'm looking at 9 or 92, 92 cannot go into 2, and 92 cannot go into 22, but it can go into 220. So when I'm looking at this, I think, how close can this 9 get to a 2 or a 22? So how close can my 9 get to a 2 or a 92? What can I multiply by 9? So if I set up my multiplication on the side, if I try 9 times, well, I know 9 times 3 is 27. And that 27, oops. And this 27 is bigger than this 22 because, remember, I'm really working with 90. So if I brought that 9 down, it would be 270, which is definitely bigger than 220, right? So I know that's not going to work. So instead, let me try to work with 2. So if I multiplied 2 by 90, it would be 0, and 2 times 9 is 18. So I know that's the closest I'm going to get. But I can't just go plug in 180 here, right? Because I'm using 92. So now I have to do 92 times 2. And 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 9 I know is 18. So when I plug that in, I have 100. Nope, I don't. I have 2, right? Right over the 0 from the 220. And I plug that in, 184. And then I just do my subtraction. All right, and I'm left with 36. And I know I need to bring down my 8. So now I'm gonna be looking at 9. How many times can 9 or 90 go into 36 or to 360? I'm trying to break up into different numbers. So how many times? Well, when we did 9 times, I'm not going to erase my multiplication because I want to keep track of what I'm doing. So I know when I did 9 times 3, it was 27. So I'm going to try one more up. So I'm going to try 9 times 4, which actually gives me 36. And if I were to add my 0 back in there, I throw that in there. So now I know I have to multiply it by 92, right? 92 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8 still, and 4 times 9 is 36. Now I have the exact answer. So I can plug in my 4, and I have 368. 0. So my final answer is 24. I'm gonna box it. All right, moving on to the steps. Step 1 is to break the dividend into a smaller value. So in our example, we were working with 92 and what was it, 2,200. 2,002, well, I'm not gonna put that comma in there. 2,208. So I broke it up because I'm first looking at 220. I'm not looking at the full 1,000, right? So I know I can't go into just 2. I know I can't go into just 22, but I know it can go into 220. So step 2 is to estimate the divisor into a number easier to multiply by. Let's add 5 there. So in my example, estimate means to roughly calculate or judge a number or value. So we're kind of like, it's kind of like if you say we're to guesstimate. That's what I like to say. So in our example, we were working with 92, right? But I was using 90 or 9. You can break it up because I know it's easier for me to find a number times 9 or times 90 or times 9. Step 3 is to solve. There's not that many steps for this. I mean, it's just working on your multiplication skills and being able to work slowly and carefully with your multiplication. And then it's just to solve, estimate what you can. I do that on the side. And I knew that it was, 3? No, 3 was too big, right? It was 2. Because I know that 2 times 9 is going to be 18. And if I'm looking at just a 9, this is where the estimation comes in. If I'm looking at just my 9, then I can think, okay, well, 9 times 2 is 18. If I add 9 more to this 18, it's going to be bigger than this 22. So that makes sense why it would just be a 2 here, right? So that's it for steps. Next